you'll be traveling from one state to the other that you won't encounter road safety, immigration people, police, the army. You're definitely going to encounter those 4 sets of facts. That's all.
Yes,
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you're just joining us, my name is Trinity Udwa, and if you're just joining us, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications. So today's video, I'm going to make it really fast. I'll try and make it really fast. I hope I am fast. I'm going to tell you everything that you need to embark on a 13-hour journey, or maybe a day journey, or 24-hour journey. It depends. And all these things I'm mentioning is if you're traveling by road. This is NYSC period. I have seen a lot of question tags on Instagram and on Twitter about people who maybe cannot get a flight from where they are to where they are going to, because there are some states in Nigeria that really do not get flight except it's from Lagos. So imagine if you're not staying in Lagos and then you have to get to that place before a certain period of time, and then you cannot get any flight. Of course, road has to be your next best alternative. So this video is going to be for those who have a problem, or this is your first time traveling and you don't know what you're going to need, and you don't know how the journey is going to look like, or you've never actually been on a maybe 5-hour journey, and this video is for you. So let's just get right into the video. The first thing you're going to need for whatever journey, however kind of journey that you're going to go for, especially if it's somewhere you're going to that you've never been to before, please have extra cash. This cannot be overemphasized. Have extra cash, and it shouldn't be a 1K, 2K kind of extra cash. I would advise you have almost equivalent of the amount of money you paid for your transport as an extra cash. If you can afford it, please make sure you have that equivalent amount as an extra cash in your bag, because it's road. It's a road journey. Anything can happen. The tire can burst. You have to pick another. You may have to pick another bus, or something will just happen. You would see something that you like on the road. It happens. Yeah, I've been going by road from the north to the south for about 5 years, yeah. So I can tell you that extra cash is a necessity. It's very, 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 very important. So next thing I'm going to mention that you need, especially if you're a lady, I'm mentioning a couple of things at once, so please pay attention. You're going to need a wipe. Make sure you carry a set of wipe, like this wipe. Carry your entire wipe and fit it into your handbag. Yes, I know it may sound like too much, but you're going on the road. You're going to encounter dust. Dust is going to slip on your face, even if you're following an AC bus. Trust me, you need wipes. You're going to need wipes. You're going to need your face cleanser. You're going to need a hand towel or a face towel, however it's called. Hand towel, face towel, hand towel, face towel. However, whatever name you call it, or a handkerchief, please. And when you're carrying a hand towel or face towel, try as much as possible to make it 2. Don't just carry a pair, carry 2 for your hand towel. So those things I've mentioned: a wipe, face cleanser, and your face or hand towel is very, very important, because you're going to need it to wipe up sweat. You're going to need it to wipe up dirt from your face. You're going to need it to wipe off maybe dirt or spill from something that may have spilled over, maybe water, drink, your own food, whatever. But those are a very, very important necessity. Please, as long as you're moving from one place to another place, especially if that place is an unfamiliar territory or an unfamiliar vicinity, please always carry with you a valid form of identification. It could be your voter's card, it could be your ID card, it could be a student ID card, whatever it is, but make sure that it is something that can be used to identify you, maybe your nationality or what you do or where you stay. Please, it's very important, because there's no how you'll be traveling from one state to the other that you won't encounter road safety, immigration people, police, the army, you're definitely going to encounter those 4 sets of parastatals, so you're going to need a valid form of identification. I'm telling you this from serious experience. Like, I have had an experience where we're stopped by 10 p.m. in the evening and we're all asked to drop down from the bus and provide a form of identification. Those who couldn't, I think we left them, or they had to put calls across and they had to sound really convincing. So I'm telling you that you need a valid form of identification. Please, you're going to be in the car all day, you're going to be in the vehicle all day, except you're traveling with someone that you know, or you're traveling as a group, or you're traveling in the form of a picnic. Please have a source of entertainment. It could be your phone, it could be your laptop, it could be your headphones, it could be your iPod, it could be anything, but please have a source of entertainment. It's very important. You can't be sleeping all day for 13 hours, for 10 hours, for 8 hours, for 7 hours, for 6 hours. You can't be sleeping all day. Please have a source of entertainment. It could be your laptop, as I said, it could be your phone, and make sure they are actually indeed loaded with stuff that you haven't watched or something you haven't been entertained with before, because you'll be on the road. You might have network fluctuations, your network may not be as smooth as you think it's going to be, so you could actually download those content on the way. No, use the day before, 2 days before in your free time, and then just get all those entertainment contents already stored or downloaded and stored in your source. Yeah. Now, if you're someone who don't eat outside, especially if you don't trust the source of your food, please carry your own food. There's no shame in it. I've done it, I still do it. Carry your own food. It doesn't have to be something really maybe stressful. You could maybe fry chips or plantain, anything, fries or rice, and then put in a kind of disposable flask that when you're done, you don't accumulate loads to yourself, so you just through the pack, or you throw the pack or you throw the container. But please try as much as possible to hold your own food, so you don't get to a certain place and then you see the restaurant where you're being asked to take a break, and then you're like, oh my god, if I had known, I should have taken my own food. It happens a lot. It has happened to me a lot of times than I can ever imagine to count or care to count. Please carry your own source of food, and then you may never know the time the driver is going to stop for recess. Most drivers stop for recess maybe by 5, by 4, depending on what time they left your starting point. Depending on what time you left your starting point. Some drivers have this discipline that if they don't get to this certain place, you are not going to stop for recess. It happens. Okay, for example, let me give a practical example. If I'm going from Jos to Akwa Ibom, our recess is always in Benue, and when I'm saying Benue, I don't mean Makurdi, I mean somewhere in Otukpo, or it has to be Enugu. And if it's Enugu, it's not just the outskirts or the beginning of Enugu, it's somewhere in 9 miles. So imagine driving from Jos through Kaduna, through Nasarawa, through Benue, and then Benue, we all know, it's a really long state. So imagine driving through all those states, and then I haven't had anything to eat, and I don't have my own food, and I don't have my own water. That's bad. Really bad. And next thing I recommend is maybe you have a source of vitamin. For me, I usually travel with vitamin C. It's important. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like important that you have at least a source of vitamin in your bag. Yeah, it's really important. I don't know how to put it. Maybe it's because I'm used to it, so I'm just suggesting it to you. But please make sure you have a source of vitamin in your bag. You may not be able to have access to food, but those vitamins will keep you running. And then the next thing you need too is your food flask. Not your food flask. What am I saying? Your water bottle. I didn't mean your food flask. I mean water bottle. You need a water bottle. Water bottle is to enable you to store ice. I use my own water bottle to store ice, and it stores ice for me for as long as I think 5 hours or 6 hours. So when I turn maybe a neutral temperature water into the ice, I drink it up immediately and I close my flask and I keep it. And then when next I'm thirsty, I do the same over and over again. It helps before you can get to where you would have recess, or where you're supposed to take recess. And most of the time, places you're taking recess to don't usually have ice that you can replace it with. So Yeah, make sure you have your water bottle. It's really important, really important. Now I'm going to talking about more serious needs that you need, and one of the serious things that you should have in your bag is please have an alternative power source. When I mean alternative power source, I mean a power bank, something that could charge up your phone at least twice or 3 times. Just make sure the power bank is strong enough. You need it because no matter how strong your battery is, you're going to need it, because if it's your only source of entertainment, you're going to need a power bank to put up your phone, and then to keep you going, to keep you entertained. Please have an alternative source of power. And then another thing is have an emergency notepad where you store emergency numbers and the address that you're supposed to be going to. Anything can happen. Your alternative power source could fail you, or your phone could go dead, or you could not get access to airtime. You're on the road, anything can happen. Network may not allow you to recharge from the bank, or maybe you got bored and then you were talking to someone over the phone for over 2 hours, 3 hours, and your airtime got exhausted and you couldn't find airtime to replace it. It happens. It has happened to me, not once, not twice. It happens. So please have this notepad where you store emergency numbers and your address, so that in case something happens, there will always be a good Samaritan in any bus that you're traveling in. There will always be a good Samaritan that you can ask if you should use their mobile phone, so you can contact your emergency contacts. Yeah. Please, while traveling, have an extra source of comfort. It could be a wrapper, it could be a blanket, it could be extra pairs of socks if you're not already traveling with the pair of socks on your feet. These are very, very important, because you may on the road, the weather could change. The weather could be bipolar in any state you're going to, or something might happen and you're driving through the night. The nights are always cold, especially when you're on the highway, or you have to sleep on the road. It happens. You're going to need extra blanket, you're going to need extra socks, or some sort of fluffy stuff that you use to rest your head, so you don't have neck pain or swollen neck or headache the following morning when you're about to kick up. Yeah, extra source of comfort. When I mean extra source of comfort, I mean your blanket, I mean your socks. Extra clothing too. You need extra clothing. Anything can happen. You could get really wet, with sweat, and you'll have to change up your top, or something could spill on your dress and you may not be able to hold it or wear that dress through your journey. You'll be able to change it. So you'll be able to change it. Extra source of comfort, extra source of dress. Please make sure you fit that into your handbag, or your school bag, or your backpack, whatever name you have for it. Please do that. Now, another thing that usually helps me on long journeys is the hand fan. Not that, you could help too, or we have the electrical rechargeable ones, the ones that maybe make use of batteries, or electrical, the ones you could charge with your alternative source of power. If it goes off, it helps, because you're in a car. Even if you're in an AC bus, it's going to get hot. People with different body temperatures contributing and adding to the temperature of the bus. I don't know how to explain that mechanism, but the bus is going to be hot. It's going to be hot, so you're going to need it. It's going to help you, and it's not that expensive. You can see the one of 1.5, you can see the one of 2K. It's really not expensive, trust me. Now I'm just going to share life-saving hat tricks that helps me when I'm traveling on long distance journey. When you're traveling on a long distance journey, especially if it's a journey that you've never been to, please make use of a registered transport company. Please make use of a registered transport company, should in case something happens, God forbid, heavens forbid, but they would be able to trace the car number, the car seats, the plate number, anything. Make sure it is a registered transport company. There are a lot of registered transport companies. You could use God is Good, you could use Peace Mass Transit, you could use personally I use Plateau Riders, because I'm in Plateau, is a registered transport company here. So you just go there, booking, get your ticket. In your ticket, so there's always space for next of kin, should in case something happens, they know who to contact. And then this registered transport companies, more often than not, do not leave their passengers stranded when something happens to the bus, unlike those roadside buses that something happens to it and then everybody's on its own. You need to find another bus on your own before another bus will come. It will take time. But no, most of these registered companies, if something happens to the bus, they immediately call office sends help. That they don't leave you without hope. Let me just put it that way. They do not leave you without hope. Yes, and if you're traveling on a long distance journey, please do well to inform people that you're coming to meet, or do well to make inquiries about the place that you're going to go to, especially if you've never been there and you do not have kins there or relatives or friends there. Do your research. That's why we have Google, that's why we have Google Maps, that's why we have social media pages. Ask questions. A lot of people will be willing to answer. I will be willing to answer. So please do want to make your research and ask questions. So I hope that this video has really helped you in ways that I cannot explain and you cannot explain. I hope that you found this video really helpful. And if you have other questions concerning long distance journey, please don't hesitate to ask in the comment section below, or you could ask me. You could find me on Instagram and ask me questions. I will gladly answer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you. Mwah.